Hey everyone! Today I got a review of a solar panel, and if you saw my other review of a solar panel, I mentioned I was thinking Rich Solar might be a better option. Well, decided to put my money where my mouth is, and I went and bought 4 of these to balance out one of my other arrays so I can get the maximum amount out of my charge controller. And here they are. This is the Rich Solar RS-M100. It is a monocrystalline panel. Produces 100 watts. It's not super big, really light. Well, not super light, but light enough to easily haul around. Let me show you the back here. Okay. The leads aren't super long, but they're decent. I like that they've got a positive and minus here labeled on the cables. The connectors are actually good. I don't see anything really wrong with them. Now, one thing I really like over this panel compared to the other panel I reviewed is you can get in here just by pushing a couple things. No breakage. It's nice when you can look at things and not have them break on you. I really appreciate that. Now this, it's got is where they've got the bypass diodes in here just fine, which is nice to see. Now, what it is, the only thing I don't like is they have these screwed in here, and so the wire that comes in is screwed into here and stuff. Now, they didn't really do the best job on this. I'm gonna unscrew these, straighten up the wire and put it back together, probably with a little bit of anti-oxidation compound to make certain that the connection lasts and works really well. But other than that, that's about all I need to change. Also, the wires are tinned. It's tinned wire, which is really good, means it won't corrode very quickly. Should provide nice, long-lasting service. I was happy about that. Now, the solder joints here, yeah, they're really thick piles of solder, but I looked at them pretty carefully and checked them out with my meter, and they actually are low resistance connections. So they've actually got the connection of the diodes and the panel parts into the joint, and the solder seems to be just sort of holding it there. It's not actually making the electrical connection itself. So that's all right, but I do wish it was a little nicer. That's how it is. And the panel here snaps right in like it should. Now they came shipped together in pairs, and they had it where the front was facing each other, and there was a piece of styrofoam on the back side to protect them. So literally the glass was to the glass. Honestly, not really happy with that sort of shipping. I would have liked to seen something in between, but they did arrive intact without any problem, and they traveled from several states across to reach me. So I guess that's saying decent. It is tempered glass. I was happy about that. The glass is actually okay. I wish it was a tiny bit thicker, but it's not bad at all. Standard good design, I think. It's an aluminum frame. The frame actually arrived without any major deformities or anything else, and was good. And I checked them up with a charge controller, and they made spec out here just fine. No problem at all. So, and actually 2 of them were a little above spec. So I'd say that's a win. Now these are made out in Vietnam and such, and that's kind of surprising. I figured it'd be from China, but it wasn't. So good job, Rich Solar. I like these. I like these pretty darn well, actually. Now, they were actually a really good deal when I bought them. It was $189 for 2 of them. So that's 200 watts for $189, so less than $1 a watt. That's a pretty good price. It really is, especially if you're not buying them, by the pallet. Because that's where you can get a really good deal, is if you buy a whole pallet of panels. You can get, sometimes as low as 60 cents, 50 cents a watt. Although those deals are few and far between now. But getting one where you can get it less than $1 a watt, really good deal. Now, if you compare this panel to like the Harbor Freight panel deal, this is a heck of a better option. Getting 200 watts for a little under $200 is a good deal. And if you compare that to the Harbor Freight panels they're offering, I consider it a much better deal. Get a lot more panel for the dollar, and it's a better made panel, and you get more wattage. So I think if you were going to pick between Harbor Freight solar panels and these ones, I would highly recommend getting these. Plus, with their standard connectors, you can hook them up into the solar combiners, the charge controllers, everything without any problem at all. Now this thing has your standard electrical label, listing everything out, all the markings associated with it. The only thing it doesn't have is a UL marking. Now in a lot of jurisdictions, they're not really too worried about that. because there's so little that goes wrong with solar panels. Although, like I say, you never know if you're going to get some Nazi for an electrical inspector and they're going to demand that. So if you're actually planning to put these all in your house and everything else, do check with your local jurisdiction or zoning area if you're dealing with one of those to see what your code enforcement's like and if they demand that every panel you put on has a UL marking on it. Where I'm at, they don't really care. So I've had fine luck just using whatever I want, which works out great for me. But check around. I hope this was a little helpful to you. I'll post the link to where I got these off of Amazon in the description. Hopefully they're still available at their great price. And I hope you find this information a little useful. Take care, everyone. This is Reed, out for now. The only thing it doesn't have is a UL marking on it. Oh, geez, wind, give me a break.